Good morning and welcome to the Franchise Minute. I am Anna Wilds, the franchise economist, and today we have a special treat. We have Joel Lazarevitz with Maid Brigade. Joel, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Anna. It's a pleasure.
All right. Well, Joel, start us off and share with the audience a little bit about you and your background and how you came to work at Maid Brigade.
So I've been in franchising for 27 years. I started with a local company here in Canada. I'm Canadian, where I had the pleasure of growing the brand to over 225 franchises in over 25 countries, and then started my own franchise consulting firm called International Franchise Services with a business partner. And we started working with other brands and have grown that to over now having introduced brands in over 65 countries and over 150 US cities. And I actually took on Maid Brigade as a client 12 years ago to focus on Canadian and international markets, and then became the VP of Franchise Recruitment. So I've proudly sat in this chair for the past 11 years.
Well, Joel, you are our first international guest, so you have that special designation. Thank you. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. We really appreciate that. And Joel, here's the thing. We have all heard of residential cleaning franchises. They're a staple in franchising. So share with us tell us about Maid Brigade and what makes it so very special.
So with Maid Brigade, we have over 370 territories. We've actually been in business for 40 years. So from a longevity standpoint, we've really not only stood the test of time, but we've also been innovators within our industry. In fact, you recently helped us place two great gentlemen, two young entrepreneurs who bought a franchise in Cary, North Carolina, which we're incredibly appreciative for. So thank you. I should say that as well.
Yeah.
But in terms of our unique points of differentiation, even 2 years prior to COVID, we started focusing on electrolyzed water. And basically that means we create the most hygienic cleaning solutions available by mixing electrolyzed water with disinfection solutions. And so what we're able to do is, picture your son or daughter who's standing spraying their friend with a water gun. Well, we call that an electrostatic charger, and then or sprayer, sorry. And then what we'll do is we'll load that in, and then they'll go to easy to reach places like countertops where they'll spray, hard to reach places like in between appliances, light fixtures, door handles. And what we do is we spray, it adheres to the surface, and then 5 to 7 minutes later, without even having to wipe it away, it's actually killed all the bacteria and germs. And so for even those people who, have COVID in the rearview mirror, the bottom line is that if we can come in with a similar price point and, go in and they'll be able to disinfect their home, it gives them peace of mind. So that's been a huge difference maker for us.
It sounds like it. So you don't just clean, you disinfect, you truly disinfect. And you did this before COVID. So I can't imagine that. I mean, it was such a differentiator then, and the demand for this is only going to go what? Up.
100%. Right? It's only gone up. And we have people now that just, even though, like I said, it's in the rearview mirror for most, the health and hygiene and protection of their loved ones is still in the forefront of their mind.
Right. And it's for the same cost as a typical residential clean. So it just sounds like a tremendous, tremendous advantage and differentiator and benefit, to the customers.
It is.
All right. So Joel, clarify for me and the audience what the role of the owner with Maid Brigade is. Is he or she cleaning bathrooms and pushing vacuum cleaners?
So we don't want you to have your head in the toilet. That's not the goal behind opening a Maid Brigade franchise. I would say that it's really twofold. The first part of this is that you're going to be focusing on sales and marketing and want to be community driven. And so what that means is you may be sponsoring a local sports team. You're definitely joining a BNI networking group where you can mix and mingle with, real estate agents, lawyers, carpet cleaners, and refer each other clients. And so you're going to be involved. Like we always tell people that even when you get your car, that's, your vehicle, and it's wrapped with Maid Brigade, the first time they see you, it's, oh, there's Maid Brigade. The second time they see you is, there's Anna. She services our community. So the mindset changes. So for us, you want to be comfortable hiring and training staff as well. That's probably the second component beyond the sales and marketing, and making sure that you can scale and lead your teams and grow. So you take on that leadership role, but you're also empowering them. at the same time. So for us, it's the sales and marketing component that's really important, but then it's also the hiring and training and retention of staff, which of course I'll go into in more detail as well.
Yeah, Joel, every franchise has to deal with preconceived notions that people have about it. And what do you encounter on a regular basis with Maid Brigade?
It's labor. Labor is the number one thing that everyone talks about. It's coming out of the pandemic. People are like, oh, COVID, they're paying people to stay home. How are you going to get employees? Are they going to be skilled? Do you need to be unskilled? Like, how do you deal with that? So for us, even prior to the pandemic, we were fortunate enough to work with a gentleman that we hired named Pedro Galvan, who's our VP of Talent Acquisition. And I really want to stress his importance. It's not a secret that a good portion of our workforce is Latino. And so he's originally from Barcelona. He has a very strong HR background, and he gets intimately involved in both the hiring and training of employees. That goes as far as him actually telling our franchisees what you can say in an interview, what you can't say in an interview, sharing ads that should be posted, the different platforms where they should be posted, videos that show them, training aspects. So he will get involved literally from the initial conversation, all the way to the hiring and training. And then we really focus on culture. I think it's an overused term in franchising, quite honestly, but at the same time, when you're hiring and training people, we know that they can leave and go make $25 an hour working for Amazon. So how are you going to keep those people, incentivize them, motivate them, get them to be proud of being part of Maid Brigade and being willing to refer their friend, a family member, someone along those lines? So for us, he gets really intimately involved from the onset. And it's been just a huge difference maker. Like obviously during COVID, everyone was struggling to get employees, but we've seen a real uptick, and he's been instrumental in the overall success of both the hiring and training, but also the retention of the staff as well.
And what I heard you say is he works with the owners to create the culture. So it is the workplace of choice that the workers want to be there. They want to work there. They're given the training, they're given the support, the encouragement, and the money to remain. Is that right?
It is. I would almost describe us as more of a people business than a cleaning business.
Absolutely.
And I think it's a big differentiation, right? Because people want to clean their homes. They just, we've seen over the years, everyone thinks, oh, cleaning's a luxury. Well, it's become a necessity. And what that means is that we're going to get intimately involved when it comes to understanding who we are and what we're all about and what we're looking for in an actual employee. So we position ourselves as a people-based business. Beyond that, and I failed to mention earlier, another big thing that people are focusing on is what type of training am I going to get? Like who's going to be training me? And so from our perspective, we're unique. We actually have our new franchisees spend 4 days with the top performing franchisee at their location.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, the reason it's so critical is first of all, one, we're fortunate. We have fantastic mentors, people that want to give back, people that want to see our system grow. So they'll spend 4 days shadowing them, learning best practices. So as opposed to sitting in our corporate office with toothpicks in their eyes, staring at a screen, where they have to forget what they learned from on day one and day two when they reach day four, they actually spend 4 days at a franchisee's location, understand where their roles are best utilized, utilizing their skill set, understanding why that person has grown a business and how can I emulate them to achieve that same success. So for us, having them spend 4 days there is critical. Then we have a member of our franchise support team that will come and train them for 4 days, train their first group of employees, go into homes with them. You go over the software, the technology tools, everything that goes into the day-to-day operations of the business. Then they spend quality time helping them understand how to get a jump start to their business. So piecing those two trainings together is really pivotal to their success. And then of course, we have ongoing training, going on throughout the life of their business. We have to justify the royalty that they're paying us, and we take that very seriously. So for us, we're going to make sure that anytime there's questions, concerns, issues, obstacles, they deal with our support team on a regular basis. We have regional meetings across the year. So it's a system that really, for us, we take we take the validation of our franchisees very seriously. And the only way to get that is to make sure we're there for them 24/7. That's important.
That's really wonderful. Joel, if there was just one thing you want the audience to take away from this conversation about Maid Brigade, what would it be?
Well, I always tell people that we're never going to be the most glamorous or sexy business in your community, right? So, but I would say that some of the most popular, most successful businesses out there are the ones that you can't glamorize. They're the ones that you build a reliable customer base that really, really generates recurring revenue. Because
Right.
if you have a regular customer with us, you're booking them every second week. If you're booking them every second week, you have 26 weeks of revenue you can count on. You know, if you have 26 weeks of revenue you can count on, well, how do you grow your business? You just add new customers. So
Right.
I would tell people that, you know, we realize someone doesn't wake up one day and say, oh my God, my dream is to own a cleaning business. We're very aware of that. However, you need to lift up the hood behind who Maid Brigade is and what the residential cleaning industry is to see how scalable, how resilient, you know, an industry it is. And really there's no ceiling to what you can do because
There
you're always
isn't.
going to have new customers moving into your territory, other customers moving out. So I would tell them that, you know, look into Maid Brigade as a business model that you can be both proud of to contribute to your community and one you can scale and grow as well.
Absolutely. It is very scalable and can be grown to significant, substantial sizes, just depending on the goals of the franchisee. But I'll tell you this, Joel, as you were saying, you have recurring cash revenue every 2 weeks. You put that in a spreadsheet and you list all your, it is like an annuity,
It
almost
is.
like an annuity with that cash coming in. And Amazon won't obsolete it. Technology won't obsolete it. It will. It was around 50 years ago. It's around now, and it's going to be around in 50 years. It is something that you can count on. You really can. And so when I have people who tell me they want a business they can grow and they kind of step back and almost have like a passive income stream, I think Maid Services.
It is. I always say that we've become, and listen, 12 years I've seen our business evolve, obviously. The one thing I will tell you is that we are very much a necessity, not a luxury. People
Mhm.
will, even in times of struggle, they won't eat out as often. They won't buy luxury items, you know,
Right. They
but
don't go on vacations.
yeah,
Mhm.
but they won't compromise when it comes to their free time. They put a premium on spending time with family and friends, and just we've learned that residential cleaning is the last thing that they're going to give up. They just don't want to
Good
do it
point.
themselves.
Good point. Well, Joel, we are out of time. Thank you so much for being here. If someone wants to learn more about Maid Brigade, what would you suggest they do?
I would suggest them to reach right out to you, Anna. You know, working with you in Select Franchise has been an absolute pleasure. You're a wealth of knowledge. You know, I would absolutely have them reach out to you so they can learn more about the franchise of their choice, whether it's Maid Brigade or beyond, because you've just been just a wealth of information, and it's just a pleasure working with you, quite frankly.
Well, thank you so much, Joel. I appreciate that. And thank you for being here, audience. This is Joel Lazarevitz with Maid Brigade. And audience, thank you for being here. And come back next week. We're going to have a wellness franchise on. You're going to learn about the ever-growing med spa space. So I'm Anna Wilds, the franchise economist. Come back next Wednesday at 11:30. See you then. Bye-bye.